What is going on? RonMan coming back at you, and today we're going to be taking a look at Home Alone for the NES. Also, if you're new here and you like my content, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons, as well as that bell notification so you stay up to date with dog crap. Back in the early 90s, the film Home Alone was a huge success. With such an unbelievably successful family movie, it made sense to game companies to take that and whip it into a video game. Now, most consoles at the time had a game titled Home Alone, but a lot of them were quite different from each other. This was because many of the different versions had different developers, which is of course no surprise. NES version of Home Alone was developed by Bethesda Softworks and published by THQ and released in 1991. Now, if you've been into retro gaming for a substantial length of time, you'll know that for whatever reason, most games published by THQ are absolute fucking garbage. I'd even go as far as to say that I prefer LJN games to THQ games. THQ fucking sucks, man. Anyway, the story of Home Alone is that Kevin McAllister has just called the police on the wet bandits. Now you have to wait 20 minutes until their arrival. In the meantime, you'll need to spend that 20 minutes avoiding both Harry and Marv. If either of them catch you, that's it. Game over. That's the whole game. No other levels, no other objectives, just run from the wet bandits for 20 minutes. Okay, so the game takes place in the McAllister house, which includes the tree house. Even though the McAllisters have an enormous house in the movie, the game world here is rather small. Of course, you play as Kevin, and as expected, you're outnumbered 2-to-1 by Harry and Marv. On top of that, they both move faster than you. So how is it that you avoid getting captured? Well, you need to pick up and set different traps. When the bandits come in contact with the trap you've set, they get knocked out for a period of time. The length by which they stay on the ground is determined by the trap you've set. Some traps keep them down longer than others. You can also hide in a few different locations, such as a bed or the Christmas tree. Although if you hide here long enough, they'll eventually find you. The graphics are laughably bad. The character sprites are diaper gravy, and look at those animations. They really do fall into the category of they're so bad they're good. Home Alone also has a few different end screens. So here's an interesting fact. There happen to be two different versions of Home Alone. In one version, the game over screen looked like this, and the other looked like this. If you happen to have enough patience and last 20 minutes without getting captured, you get this end screen. Man, that looks like shit. Hey, check out these two screens. Did Kevin somehow get a haircut before the cops showed up? Also, the music is a shit sandwich. Just listen. I guess that kind of sounds like Run Rudolph Run. You actually get a few different tracks depending on where you are. The treehouse has its own music, as does the basement. The controls suck ass too. Walking up or down any stairs is a real bitch. It just feels super clunky. There were times where I got caught because I didn't move up or down the stairs good enough. Okay, so I mentioned that this game is 20 minutes long. Here's an honest question. Who thought that 20 minutes was a good length of time? The game world is so small and there's really very little to do. 20 minutes feels like a lifetime to be playing this. Let's just put this into perspective. 2 minutes is not a long time, but when you're doing a plank, 2 minutes feels like an eternity. Well, apply the same concept to Home Alone. 20 minutes isn't a long time at all, it's just an episode of a TV show. When I start watching Married with Children, 20 minutes flies by. But when you're playing Home Alone, 20 minutes feels like all day. Why couldn't they have cut it down to, say, 5 minutes and just make more levels or something? 20 minutes in this small stage is so boring. I can see what the developers were going for, and in a sense, I kinda like the idea of this game, but man, it didn't work out well. The only context that I can maybe see this game having any semblance of fun is if you have a buddy over and you each take turns to see who can last longer. But, I mean, even that's being way too generous. And that's really all there is to say about Home Alone. Have any of you guys ever lasted the full 20 minutes and beat this game? Leave it down in the comments section below. Guys, I want to thank you so much for watching. Merry Christmas, and I'll see you in the next video.